All right, so let's get into it. This AI deep dive. We got a ton of really interesting stuff sent in. Looks like you all are fascinated by the same AI stuff that's all over the news lately. And what I really noticed is it seems like it's not just the technology itself, but how AI is going to change, well, everything, like jobs and ethics, even art. So, yeah, ready to dive in.
Well, it's not sci-fi anymore, is it? This is happening now, and it's moving so fast. And I think all the debate, it really shows just how much people are thinking about AI and what it all means.
For sure. And that's exactly what we're going to try to figure out today. All the big questions, different sides of the story, so we can maybe make some sense of this crazy AI world.
Well, first, we got to talk about just how powerful this technology really is. I mean, the stuff AI can do with data, finding patterns, making predictions, it's insane. Like, even just a few years ago, this was all impossible.
Yeah, and that means big changes for so many fields, like healthcare for sure. Doctors could find diseases way earlier, maybe even come up with treatments that actually work.
Oh, absolutely. And finance, too, right? Managing risk, knowing where to invest.
Exactly. And we can't forget, maybe AI can even fix some of the world's biggest problems,
Oh, yeah.
like climate change, poverty. I mean, there's people out there using AI to use less energy, come up with new ways to grow food.
Even tailor education to each person, help them reach their full potential. It's crazy.
Mind-blowing when you
Yeah,
think about it. But, powerful tech, there's always another side, right? Challenges, risks. We got to be real about that.
definitely. And I think the biggest worry is jobs. What happens to everyone's jobs when AI can do so much? Does everyone lose their job or will there be new ones?
$1 million question, no doubt. We need examples, real stuff to look at. Take ChatGPT, for instance. That thing can write different kinds of creative content and answer your questions in an informative way, even if they are open-ended, challenging, or strange.
ChatGPT and similar tools are already being used in customer service, writing jobs, even software development. Yeah, it makes you wonder about job security. But it also tells us we got to learn new skills that work with AI.
So we got to get good at the things humans are still better at. Right. Like being creative, thinking critically, understanding emotions. That stuff's going to be gold when AI is doing all the routine work.
Totally. And think about the jobs that'll pop up that we can't even imagine yet, like keeping AI ethical, figuring out data privacy, designing the algorithms themselves. We need people to bridge the gap between us and the machines.
Right. So it's not just about us adapting. We're actually shaping how AI develops, making
Yeah.
sure it fits with our values.
Yeah. And that brings up the other big thing, ethics. AI gets more powerful. We got to think hard about what it does to society. How do we prevent the bad stuff?
Right. Like we don't want AI making things even more unfair. Like what about algorithms used for hiring or loans? If they learn from data that's already biased, they'll just keep discriminating, holding certain people back.
Exactly. That's why we need to know how these algorithms work, what data they use, who's in charge, transparency and accountability.
But it's not just avoiding the bad, right? It's using AI to make things better.
Totally. Think about it. AI could make healthcare available to people who can't get it now. Could personalize learning so everyone has a chance.
So it's like using AI's power for good, but watching out for the traps, right?
Yeah.
And everyone's got to be involved, developers, the government, regular people.
Couldn't agree more. It's a messy, ever-changing situation. We all got to figure this out.
And speaking of the future, the other thing everyone's talking about is self-driving cars. They're already here. Cars driving themselves, making decisions on the fly, maybe changing how we get around forever.
It's super exciting, but man, so many ethical and practical questions, like how do you tell a self-driving car how to act in a crazy situation when there's no right answer?
That's where that trolley problem comes in, right? Like swerve and maybe hurt one person or stay straight and hit more.
Exactly. It's a thought experiment, like a philosophy thing. But now it's real. We're talking about machines making life or death choices. That's heavy stuff.
Really makes you think about those ethical implications.
Yeah, definitely. And it's more than just the car itself. We need a whole system for self-driving cars, who's responsible when things go wrong, insurance, what about data privacy?
A lot of kinks to work out before they're everywhere, for sure.
Oh, yeah. But the potential is huge, right? Think about it. Way fewer car accidents, people who can't drive get their freedom back.
All right, so we've got AI changing jobs, the ethics of letting cars drive themselves, and what else were people buzzing about in the stuff you read?
Oh, AI and surveillance, it's a hot topic, no surprise there. We see both the good and the scary sides of this technology.
That's one that always gets people going. On one hand, AI watching everything could stop crime, find missing people. But then what about our privacy?
Yeah, it can go both ways, like facial recognition, find criminals, sure, but also track everyone without them knowing.
Security versus privacy, that's a debate that's not going away anytime soon.
For sure. Tough choices. Got to be careful with that one.
Okay, so AI changing jobs, robot cars making tough choices, the whole surveillance debate. What other big AI topics were people talking about?
You know, with all this talk about data and algorithms, the thing I find really interesting is, well, AI and art.
Ah, right where AI blurs the line between what humans create and what machines make. Super fascinating because it makes you think, what even is art anymore? And who's the artist?
Yeah, that's the question. Is it real creativity or is AI just copying what it's learned?
So we've got AI making paintings, writing music, poems even. What do you think? Can AI be creative for real?
Man, that's a tough one. The philosophers and the artists, they'll be arguing about that one for a while, that's for sure. But no doubt, AI is changing what's possible, makes us wonder what art even is.
And then there are the practical issues. Who owns a painting made by AI?
Exactly. If it's a song, who gets the rights? The AI itself, the person who programmed it, the one who owns it. Lots of legal and ethical questions there.
This is where it gets even more interesting. It's not just about the tech itself. It's how it fits into our laws, culture, even what it means to be human.
I think that's a great way to put it. It's a cultural force, this AI, changing our world in ways we're only beginning to grasp.
And people are really grappling with this, trying to figure out how to live in this new world.
For sure. But the main takeaway, I think, is AI isn't just happening to us. It's something we're building, shaping, arguing about.
So AI will change the world. The question is how.
Exactly. That's why these conversations are so important.
So we talked about jobs, self-driving cars and ethics, the surveillance stuff, AI making art. And really, that's just scratching the surface, right?
Yeah, just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the big questions about AI.
Which brings us to a really interesting thought that runs through all this. What does it even mean to be human when AI is doing all this stuff?
Woo, that's a big one. That's exactly what we're going to dig into next time. When AI starts doing things we thought only humans could do, it really makes you think, you know? What makes us different? What makes us human?
Right. It's like AI is showing us ourselves. If a machine can write a poem, compose music, what does that mean for our own creativity?
That's the debate, isn't it? Some folks think creativity is just human. Others say AI can be original too, maybe even better.
And it's not just art, right? We're talking AI making ethical decisions, solving tough problems, even learning and adapting on its own.
Think about, like, law or being a doctor. We could have AI looking at legal cases or figuring out what's wrong with you. Incredibly accurate. Makes you wonder how we fit those systems into what we already have, you know? And how do we make sure it's all ethical?
Yeah, so maybe AI isn't about replacing us, but helping us.
Yeah.
Like a really powerful tool that lets us do more, solve problems in new ways.
Exactly. AI can take care of the boring stuff, see things we miss, even make us think differently.
But more power means more responsibility, right?
Yeah.
You got to make sure AI helps everyone.
Absolutely. And that means talking honestly about the risks, the challenges, but also the good stuff, the potential.
One thing that really jumped out from what you sent over was like the human side of all this. It's not just the tech, it's the people who make it, the people who use it, how it changes society, you know?
So important. AI isn't some neutral thing. It comes from people, so it has their values, even their biases built in. And how we use it, well, that's up to us.
So it's on all of us to do this right. Develop AI ethically, for good, and make sure it matches the values we believe in.
I couldn't agree more. And that means everyone gets a say, not just the tech people or the politicians, but ethicists, artists, regular people, everyone.
Like, we need a more inclusive way of doing this AI thing, considering everyone's needs and perspectives.
Exactly. That's where the real excitement is. AI could change things for the better, but only if we work together and do it right.
So it's not just about adapting, it's about guiding AI, making sure it takes us where we want to go.
Right on. We got to think critically, ask the tough questions, not just accept things the way they are.
There was a lot of talk in the stuff you sent about being transparent, holding AI accountable. People want to know how it works, the data it uses, who's responsible when things go wrong.
Yeah, got to have that trust. If people are going to get on board with this, they need to understand AI, know its limits.
And it's not just the companies making it, right? We need ways for the public to keep an eye on things, hold AI accountable.
Exactly. We got to make sure AI is working for everyone and have ways to prevent people from abusing it.
Which brings us to, like, regulations, right? How do we control this stuff? Big debate there.
Definitely. Some say we need strict rules to prevent harm. Others think too many rules will kill innovation and the good that can come from AI.
Sounds like finding that middle ground is key. Rules to protect people, but also letting the good stuff flourish.
And that's where talking and working together is so important. Bring the experts together. Tech people, policymakers, the ethicists, the public, everyone. Figure out how to govern this thing.
It's not just tech, it's a societal thing, this AI. We got to figure it out together.
Absolutely. And that's what makes this time so crazy and exciting. We're at the beginning of something huge, a tech revolution, but we get to decide what the future of AI looks like. It's not set in stone.
So be careful, but be hopeful too. Be aware of the risks, but don't forget the amazing potential.
And I think the biggest thing to remember is AI is a tool, that's all. It's up to us how we use it, what values we put into it, what kind of world we build with it.
You keep mentioning values, so how do we get those values into the actual AI? Make sure it reflects what we believe in.
Great question. And people are working on that right now. One way is to program ethical principles right into the code. Like, make sure the AI is fair, transparent, accountable.
So bake ethics right into the AI. Cool. But I bet that's not always that easy.
You're right, it gets tricky. Ethics, they're not always black and white. What's right in one situation might be wrong in another. In different cultures, different societies, they have different values.
So how do you account for that when you're designing these systems?
One way is to get everyone involved. People with different backgrounds, different values. That way, the AI is more inclusive, represents everyone, not just one group.
Like building in a system of checks and balances right into the development process itself.
Exactly. And it doesn't stop there. We got to keep an eye on these systems. As AI gets out in the world, we see how it behaves, catch any biases, any unintended consequences, fix things as we go.
So it's a constant process, right? Not just a one-time thing.
Exactly. Keep researching, keep learning, keep the conversation going. AI keeps evolving. We got to keep up.
So it's about responsible innovation. Ethics built into every step, from the drawing board to the real world and beyond.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And that's on all of us, not just the AI experts. We're all citizens, consumers, part of society. We're all shaping the future of AI.
It's kind of wild to think AI has come so far already, and who knows what's next, right?
Oh, absolutely. Crystal ball's a little fuzzy on the details.
Yeah.
But one thing's for sure, AI is going to keep getting bigger, more important in our lives.
And like we've been talking about this whole time, that means amazing potential, but also some serious questions we got to answer.
A real balancing act. I mean, we're talking about maybe solving huge problems, the kind that have been plaguing us forever. Climate change, diseases, poverty even.
But there's that flip side, right? Jobs going away, algorithms that are biased, maybe losing our privacy. That's some heavy stuff.
And that's exactly why we got to do this right. Build AI responsibly, ethically, make sure it's for the good of everyone, not just a select few.
It can't be about replacing people. It's got to be about empowering people and making sure the AI we build reflects, our best selves, the values we believe in.
I like that AI as a partner, not a replacement, a tool, a really powerful one that helps us build a better future for everyone.
And that means we got to be active, not just waiting to see what happens. We got to shape how AI develops, make sure it fits with the world we want to live in, a just world, a fair world.
I love that shaping AI. We're not powerless. We can actually steer this thing, influence where it goes, make sure it works for humanity.
And it's not just up to the big tech companies or the government, right? It's all of us. We can learn about this stuff, stay informed, talk about it, demand that AI is built responsibly.
Absolutely. Support the groups doing ethical AI research, hold our leaders accountable so they make laws that protect us. And as consumers, we can choose which AI products we use, right? Make a difference with our wallets.
It's like we're all part of this big AI experiment, in a way. The decisions we make now, they're shaping the world our kids are going to inherit.
And I think that's a really hopeful message. We decide the future of AI. It's not some scary thing taking over. It's a tool, and we can use it to build the world we want to see.
So, yeah, cautious optimism, right? Eyes wide open about the risks, but excited about the possibilities.
Couldn't have said it better myself. It's up to us to use this power wisely, build AI with the right values, the right goals. What kind of future do we want? We get to decide.
Well, I think that about wraps it up for this deep dive into AI. It's been a wild ride, so many big ideas, and I hope everyone listening will keep thinking about this stuff, keep learning, keep asking questions.
It's a conversation that's just getting started, and it's one we all need to be part of. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining us, everyone. It's been great having you along for the ride. Keep exploring this amazing world of AI because it's changing our world faster than we can imagine. And remember, the future is up to us.